All right, let's take one more. Let's go to Adam in Phoenix. Hey, Adam, what's up, brother?
Hey, Dr. Delony, how are you?
I'm good, brother. What's going on, man?
So the reason I'm calling today is my 30-year-old brother was recently in a car accident. And due to the car accident, he is now paralyzed from the waist down.
Ugh, man. Sorry, man. I'm so sorry. So sorry. It's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah. So the first 4 weeks after the accident, he was in the hospital, having surgeries and therapies and, learning how to live with what's now his new life.
Is this a permanent paralysis?
The doctors think yes,
okay.
But, there's always hope or miracles or whatever the case might be.
Sure. But the prognosis is this is not temporary. This is a new permanent way of being.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's he staying with now?
So he's actually living with my parents now because he has a girlfriend, but he's not married or anything. So my parents thought it'd be best that he moves back in with them.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry, man. I'm so sorry. So how can I help, brother? What can I do? What can I do for you?
So since he's come back, I have flown out there shortly after he moved back with my parents just to visit, see how he's doing, try to normalize things a little bit or help him or help my parents in any way I could. But since I've left and come back home, since I actually live in Arizona, just talking with my parents and kind of talking with him, there's been, anger and fights between them and, wishes he would have just died in the car accident, stuff like that. So I guess my question is, how can I help from so far away? When I'm hearing this from them, I try to talk to my brother, text him, call him. Sometimes he does respond, sometimes he doesn't. And I think it's kind of like some days are better than others, essentially. So,
yeah. Phew, man. So not my brother, but my oldest friend on planet Earth, was in a similar situation the weekend after he graduated college. One of his friends ran a stop sign and he's been wheelchair bound ever since and with some traumatic brain injury. And so, I remember the arc of this. I think he was 19 or 20. He's probably 21. It changed everything. Right? A couple of things that I learned from that situation, just personally, is, man, really what you're talking about. I took everything personally, especially the first year or two. Man, I remember visiting my buddy in the rehab hospital. I mean, he didn't know what day it was, didn't know what time it was, yet I took every glance, every dismissal, every angry statement that he would mumble out. I took all that stuff personally, man, and I didn't realize the extent of the trauma inside his body, right? I did not understand the extent of grief his mom and dad were going through. His little brother is still one of my best friends in the world. I didn't understand the grief his brother was going through. Right? I didn't understand the grief I was going through. So the first thing I would tell you is be real gracious with everybody. There is not a right way to go through with this. Feeling suicidal after you lost what feels like everything is not out of bounds. I don't say it's normal, but it's not crazy. Okay. Not knowing what to do, not wanting to talk to people, being embarrassed, being ashamed. Is he able to go to the bathroom on his own, or does someone have to help him with that?
He is able to go to the bathroom on his own, but,
okay.
My parents help, clean up and after the fact.
Yeah. So all of that is a level of discomfort and embarrassment and shame, all that stuff. And then your parents, they had a life, right? And I know the cool thing is to say like, oh, I'd do anything. Man, I had a life and I got a 30-year-old living with me. 30-year-old who takes a lot of work, and then they're going to get cast into who's going to take care of him after we're gone. And do we have enough money? And we have to remodel the house. There's all these practical things just come out as anger. Anger is a normal part of the grieving process. It's wired into us. It's okay. So the best thing you can do for them is, and for everybody, is one, be really graceful, right? Be really gracious. Number two, keep reaching out, man. Keep reaching out. Write letters, send funny things. Keep reaching out. If they call you and they're angry and frustrated, if you can, in any shape, form, or fashion, put them on FaceTime so you can see them. They can talk to you. And just let them talk, man. Just let them talk. It's part of the grieving process. They are heartbroken. Their whole worlds have been turned upside down. All y'all's have, right? Man, and here's where you will get eventually, if not sooner rather than later. I'll never forget sitting in an IHOP. It's me, my best friends, Chris and Caleb, who was Ryan's little brother. And we had a talk. Like, we made fun of each other a lot. Uncomfortably so. People would ask, like, are y'all friends? That's just how we talk to each other. We've known each other since we were 0, right? We talked and we had like, man, we're not going to treat him any different, right? If I have to go, help him in the bathroom, it's going to be uncomfortable for both of us. And so we're going to laugh our way through this. Or if I'm going to, we're going to have to get the chair out when we're going to eat, get his wheelchair out when we're going to eat or going to concerts. But man, we're going to do some fun. We're going to make some fun of each other a lot. And he does it back really uncomfortable for me, man. And he makes me embarrassed, and I don't get embarrassed for us. So all I have to say is this. At some point, you're going to have to reintroduce humor, brotherly love, poking at each other, bring that back in due time, and that will help norm the psychological and spiritual connections that y'all have, right? He's obviously going to have a different life because of mobility challenges. One of the hardest things about mobility challenges is everybody treats you differently, like you're somehow gentle and broken. And there's something just compassionate about saying, nice face, nice shirt. That's how your haircut, that's what you're going to do, right? And you suddenly realize, oh, you're just one of the guys. Does that make sense? And so it's not handling him with kid gloves. That may not be the season right now, a few weeks out, right? There's still a lot of healing going on. But over time, you want to be the brother you were beforehand, right? The one that loves him and that pokes at him and that clowns him about Christmas and all those fun things that brothers do and those mean things brothers do. That's going to be a key part of him, his healing and his growth. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
And then here's a big one, man. And I did not do this for years. I didn't even know to do it. But you're going to be grieving from this too. Suddenly, things got really mortal. Right? How old are you?
32.
32. Are you married, kids, anything?
Yep. Married, one daughter.
Okay. Everything in your psychology just changed. It could always be worse. That kind of nonsense, the trivial stuff that moms, sew onto pillows, that's real in your world now. You know what that looks like. And it will come out in how you parent. It will come out in how when your wife is 15 minutes late calling you, you'll immediately go to the worst case scenarios. It'll change the way you drive. It'll change the way you interact with people. It will change you. And so I want to make sure you take care of your grief. Make sure you're whole, man. And if that means go see somebody. If that means you got to get with a local group in your hometown, get with a local group in your hometown. If that means being honest and letting your wife know, hey, I'm still struggling with this big time, let her grieve because she's going to be grieving too. Your wife, your daughter, and her uncle, right? Everybody's going to be grieving in this thing. If you skip the grief part and try to start solving things, man, you're just going to shove it down. And I'm telling you, I did that. And I didn't deal with it for years. And I didn't know where all of my angst and drama and relational issues were coming from. And a lot of it stemmed back to, oh my gosh, man, my oldest friend in the world, somebody I loved dearly, just like a brother. Whew. One weird turn and it all changed, right? So don't dishonor yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself too. Thank you so much for that call, man. Thank you so much for that call. If you're in a season where you can sit down and read, again, I've recommended this book a million times, Finding Meaning by David Kessler. It's about grief. It's often about death, but this is grief is grief, man. You can't compare it. It's a great book to sit down and read when your parents are ready to start reading. It's a great book to read as a family. Y'all can talk about it. You can think about it, but it'll give you some practical tools. But more importantly, it will let you know you're not crazy. There is no right way to grieve. There is some wrong ways, but there's no right way to do it. Continue to show up there for your family, man. Let them be angry. Let them be frustrated. Let them be heartbroken. If your brother says, hey, I'm going to kill myself today, obviously call 911, right? But him waking up frustrated and just beat down by this is normal, man. And you too. All right. Thanks so much for that call, Adam. Whew, it sucks, man. Sucks. Brings back a lot of, man.